All right, everybody, this is a tell-all. On a rough interior, I'm going to tell you everything I know about interior detailing, and I'm going to need it for this vehicle. So, in this case, it is a 3-row Denali, I believe. And the first thing I have to do, I have to troubleshoot, you guys. I brought my air compressor, but I didn't bring the hose or the gun. So, as a huge fan of compressed air, all of a sudden, I'm confronted with this, what do I do? I don't have an air compressor. My steamer's heating up in the garage. What do I have? Well, I have my hands. And so, instead of blowing a lot of this crap out, my first job is to get all the solid stuff that I don't want my vacuum trying to struggle with, just get it off the floors. Now, you can see how badly these floor mats have been used and abused. Sorry, I'm fighting off a cold, you guys. It's been a very exhausting couple of weeks. Busy here in Utah, June of 2019. So I'm just grabbing everything I can find, and you can see on the footage here, that's a lot of stuff. As I mentioned, this is going to be me telling you everything I know about interior detailing as I walk you through an interior detail. Some of this is going to be cut off. Some of this I'm just going to let play out just so that anybody really interested in getting into detailing or detailing their own car understands that there's a lot of time and skill involved, and there's a lot of manual labor, like finding sticky red gummy type objects in cars, which I just showed you. So now I'm in the front seat area, and just about anywhere you look where something could be, that's where something is. You guys, this is when I first discovered this center console. These coins are stuck to the interior surfaces. There's like a gunk down there. So I'm just going to grab all the coins that I can right now. And I found this bag in the car. Thankfully, I should have my own bags, but I'm not sure I quite knew what I was getting into with this one. So I've got the plastic bag, and I'm just going to take everything I find and put it in there. It's a dummy fail-safe system. I'm not going in the glove box. We didn't talk about that. And I may open the center console to wipe it around, but I'm definitely not going to rummage through there. So either I put things in the center console and then leave them there, or I have a bag situation like this. So even after taking out these floor mats, I mean, what is that, a taco sauce wrapper? Or no, that's gummies? Gummies, yeah. I'm exhausted just watching myself do this, you guys. There's a kid's sock. I mean, if I had a compressor, all those little crumbs you see on the ground, I'd be able to shoot those up into the air, hopefully move them out of the car. And in those kind of cases, life is good. But I don't have that today. And that's the metaphor that I've learned is very much about life and detailing. What happens when something goes wrong? Because something always goes wrong. Okay, this is the front. This is the front seat, front driver's seat. You see that chunk of salt in the bottom left corner? And it's out of the screen now. But I've just left all this footage up to give you a sense of my focus on the beginning of an interior detail is get as much of the dry stuff out of the car as you can. And you know what's great about this video is a lot of folks out there may not have a compressor, so this will speak to them. What have I used so far? My hands and a brush. In the far right-hand corner, there's that white, and that again is this ice melt. And I know what I'm going to have to do later. It's not going to involve a chemical that most folks are going to use. I'll explain that. I would also give you an alternative there. So this is the driver's side, and I can't tell you how important it is. Nearly 80% of everything that is in your carpets is dry particulate. It will not be dissolved by water or chemicals. You just have to get the dry soil out of the carpet, and I truly believe in spending the time to do it right on the front end. And obviously this is going to take a lot of time. Here I am just trying to navigate all of these floor mats. So I'd done WeatherTechs the other day. These look like they actually came with the vehicle. They were a little bit nicer in my opinion. They were actually super nice. If you're ever looking to get into a Denali or whatever this was, the Chevy floor mats or the GMC floor mats look really nice. And we'll see those later. They're obviously a little trashed right now. So immediately, I've done some brushing. I don't have my air compressor. My steamer, which sometimes can move things around for me, is still heating up in the garage. I've done a video comparing steamers, the Vapor Chief and the VX5000. For whatever reason, I tend to use the VX5000 because it just seems like a tank, like it can withstand anything that I put it through. But it does take a while to heat up, and the Vapor Chief heats up like that. What am I doing right now? Well, I'm working hard to just vacuum out as much dry soil as I can, and you may notice that line in the center of the screen. I'm just kind of not near it now, but it's got that orange-yellow hue to it, and it's between, the seat that I'm next to there and the right hand of your screen. There it is. Yeah. So this line here. What's tough about the rest of this soil is that even with a vacuum and some agitation, it wasn't all coming out. I mean, it did a pretty good job there, but there's a lot of soil that is just wanting to be stuck in these fibers because obviously this vehicle has never been detailed before. It's new-ish, right? It's probably within a couple years old. It's just probably never been detailed before. So I have a lot of hope that given the just chronological age of this vehicle, that we can really bring it back to life with a good detail. So that's why I'm a little extra focused here. I've done a video of that brush. As I've said, it's got the most bite that I have found, while also doing a great job of getting soil out of the base of the fiber, which is what a brush is really good at doing. So it helps you grab dog hair sometimes in a tough carpet, but it also helps you work really quickly and efficiently to remove soil at the same time. So instead of a pumice stone, which will help with dog hair but kind of be messy and possibly dangerous if it scuffs plastic, this brush does a little bit of both, and then I've got the vacuum there. So this is, in this step of the process, what I've decided is going to be a good use of my time. And I'm sure that I'll watch this and think, gosh, man, that was super inefficient. But I stand by, and I think everyone should know this, the idea that a ton of effort needs to be put into getting your carpets as dry soil deprived as possible. You want all of that dry soil out of your carpets as a huge priority before you do anything. Because imagine if you start wetting what's in the carpet right now and it doesn't dissolve. Maybe it turns muddy, it wicks back, kind of a chalky residue when it all dries. Looks great when it's wet, but when it dries, trust me, folks, you guys know what I'm talking about. So here I am in the moment. Not only did I forget my air compressor, but I also don't have my headphones, which I love listening to music while I'm working. So it has been a day, and here I am just trying to get through it because that's life. So you see some of that residue, and so I was like, okay, let me take that brush. It's just kind of stuck in the carpet here. And the brush is so powerful, yet, it is a little abusive to the carpet fibers. Most things are when you're trying to clean deeply, But nothing horrible. Clean looks better than dirty in this case, so I'm going for clean, and I'm not trying to damage the fibers, but they may get a little roughed up, That's what happens when there's dog hair or embedded contaminants in car carpet. You have to go after it sometimes. And here we are, the Brush Pro. Can you believe this? I'm so sick of using that little brush in my hand, and I'm just like, how about I bring out the bazooka? Embedded dirt, embedded dry soil has no chance against this thing. I've done a video on it before, many videos. This thing is $2,000. I bought it for a side business that I have, cleaning carpets, and I've been using it detailing. And after I broke in those blue brushes, I feel like it's about 90% safe on car carpets. I don't use it on car upholstery seats unless they're trashed seat covers for a work truck. And then they really need a deep clean, and the Brush Pro is amazing, and the risk is low. But, that's an aggressive machine, and but it does the trick. Whatever you see left behind is now hopefully going to come up pretty easily with the vacuum, or at least a light brush. So the amount of time that we've documented just vacuuming right now is not even all the time that I vacuumed. At some point I make decisions to cut video, but I did want to leave a lot of this up, like I said, because this is truly what it takes. Hey, leave your comments below. Do you want me to just shut the heck up? or do you enjoy me narrating this? I mean, I've done some captions on these ASMR videos before. I've done nothing at all. Leave in the comments below what you want me to do. I don't want to do these all the time, but sometimes I just have to work that day. I just have to make some money that day. I can't sit there and think, what kind of content am I going to create today? But I'm like, you know what? If I could have seen these videos starting out as a detailer, this is what it takes. This is what Nick from Hawk Pro Detailing does. This is what Darren from Auto Fetish does. Luke from Wilson. Scott from Dallas Paint Correction. Phil from Miranda. And the list goes on and on of all the great guys that I've been able to watch over the years that have been real inspiring. Jimbo. Oh my goodness. By the way, yeah, everyone's talking about detailing channels, and I just want to thank Scott from giving me a shout out from Dallas Paint Correction, and I think Phil from Miranda Detailing, and gosh, I have a lot of respect for everybody out there, and just love all the videos that have taught me. Here's why I like people who are honest in their videos. It's because eventually, the people who are not honest, that sounds good at first. You might buy their products, you might be intrigued by them and enjoy them and gravitate toward them. But if what they say turns out not to be true, and they kind of stand by it, and you're like, but no, the sky's not purple, brother. The sky's actually blue. You're telling me it's purple, right? So it's I just appreciate the people in the detailing world who keep it real. And I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm just this is trying to cut through the BS, because eventually you're going to figure out what the BS is, and, that's the wheel of karma. So, anyway, just try to be a good person, tell the truth, and ton of respect for all the great detailing channels out there. So here I am using this little brush again. I'm telling you guys, when it comes to dog hair and deeply embedded soil, it's a great brush. You might wonder, hey, what vacuum are you using? So my rigid vacuum had some issues, and I decided, you know what? I have a professional carpet cleaning vacuum. It's a Pro Team vacuum. It's usually $500. I bought it used for a couple $100, and it's supposed to not void any carpet warranties and be super safe on carpets and super industrial and look really professional. The thing is, it's not that aggressive on carpets. The Shark vacuums or, bigger name vacuums that may be a little bit more damaging to the fibers that actually work. Man, I'm spoiled by those. So I actually use my Brush Pro with the trays on when I'm doing car carpets or when I'm doing home carpets. And then sometimes I use this Pro Team. But anyway, I'm having rigid vacuum issues. And this does a really nice job. This is the attachment that is always attached and always having suction to the actual Pro Team stand-up vacuum. And I've realized that, on that coily cord there, with the long extension and the attachment, it does a really nice job of reaching into cars for me. So I'm into it. The vacuum is just literally on the ground outside. I lay it on the ground. I don't want it standing up because it could topple over and hit a car. Tried to manage risk there. I've told a couple people before, you're always trying to avoid the big miss. Hank Haney, Tiger Woods' swing coach, wrote a book called The Big Miss, and during Tiger's reign of dominance, he went for it, right? But he always had in his mind avoiding the big miss, the miss that could derail an entire tournament, right? So you do a kick butt job on this car, but the Pro Team vacuum topples over, dents the car, and it needs body shop work. That's the big miss. So I'm always trying to avoid the big miss. Things that could topple over will, et cetera, so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind, folks. One thing I'll say on an interior, and I'll get there eventually with steam and all-purpose cleaners, but if an all-purpose cleaner is left to run down a seat that is leather or plastic, it may leave permanent streak marks. And sometimes you can buff it out with a magic eraser very carefully. Sometimes you can cover it up with a VRP type dressing from Chemical Guys, real thick. But sometimes it's permanent. So trying to avoid the big miss is a big deal. Okay, here's some ice melt, driver's side. This is the driver's side door. In that little narrow strip of carpet, there's a lot of that white stiff residue, and that's all ice melt. Just like this stuff is ice melt. So I'm bringing this brush in. I'm like, is this brush going to do anything? And it's not really. It's so compared to the way it started, which you may not remember, but it was a pretty solid little chunk of white. We're working it now, right? Like I said, get as much of it out dry as possible. and the person at home has no idea what you're doing. But anyway, I vacuumed that up. So this is after like probably a good couple hours, honestly. A good couple hours of vacuuming. It sounds crazy, but that's how we got these carpets so dialed in already. And now I'm doing my pre-spray. In this case, I'm going for a very effective encapsulation cleaner. NCAP products, the idea is this. They have solvents in there that break the soil away from the fiber. Then you agitate those solvents, and you really help to get the soil away from the fiber. Now, what's special about this, and it's not just a quote-unquote shampoo, it's going to dry to a polymer or a crystal, so that once everything is dry, right, you can remove the stains as you brush this product in, right? It's still a good stain remover and that kind of thing. But what happens as it dries, right? You're not extracting here, are you, Nick? Well, there's an option with encapsulation products. You can extract afterwards if you'd like, but the way this stuff dries is it actually dries into a crystal. And so when you vacuum up at the end, after you're all done with your cleaning and it's all dry, the crystal has encapsulated the dirt, right? And the fibers are coated, so the fiber's not actually going to take the dirt either. And that's the way this product works. So it's pretty cool stuff. It's a liquid that comes in a big gallon bottle. I dilute it with hot water, and I mix it fresh every time I use it with carpet cleaning chemicals, you guys. And maybe this is true for detailing chemicals, and I don't know. Kind of makes you think, right? But all the carpet cleaning manufacturers and companies always say, mix your product fresh that morning. And this stuff always works better with hot water. So I'm like, I wonder if that's true for, just general detailing stuff. All right, this back area, I just said screw it. Sometimes you got to clean and you don't have time to film because it does take a lot of time. It's not a Crimea River kind of thing. Whatever, is that even a saying, Crimea River? The world's smallest violin. No, but this was a trash back area full of dog hair. And I hit it with the Brush Pro and I did a bunch of stuff, all of it off camera because I knew I was running out of time. So this is probably like an hour later, like as I'm just doing final touch-ups. But as I do final touch-ups, you know how bad these carpets are, right? These ones are horrible. They're hard to make clean. I'm trying to remove all the dry stuff. Like, I'm going after it. Like, if I see something, I'm going for it. Like, to me, this is detailing, right? This is over-delivering and winning customers for life. Now, being profitable is something I'm working on every day, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to go for killer results. Okay, finally, my steamer has heated up, and I normally wouldn't do this because this is a lot of dry soil still, but I'm like, I just need some superpower. Like, it is time. Let's go for it. Here we go. So as I go ahead with this steam, I'm just focusing on everything that I can see, everything that might have been a stain. This is kind of a 2-in-1 for me because I think I've already shampooed this area, with my encapsulation product. So a little bit of steam might help to work, any remaining soil off the fibers. Just because steam, I feel like, is a bomb, I heard that one time. I don't know where I heard it from, but it's like, it's a bomb in the carpet. And it just, as it explodes, hopefully the soil, I think, is removed from the fiber. And then, ideally you would extract carpets. Hot water extraction is the best way to clean. In this case, and it's a critical thinking in the moment, type of thing. And I'm just kind of steaming the kick plates there, or whatever they're called, where people step in and out of the vehicle. But I don't know, the way I look at it is like, you just really want to remove all the dry soil as fast as you can and as thoroughly as you can. And then steam is great. So anyway, I was doing the back seats there. I'm getting a little sidetracked. But you see that thing says 3 RTU PTH? 3 RTU PTH means 3 ready-to-use pH. This is a 3 on the pH scale. Here's what we're going to do. I've mixed what's called urine neutralizer, 4 parts hot water, 1 part urine neutralizer. And it's a 3 pH. And what happens with ice melt or urine, right, as a salt, it attracts bacteria. It attracts moisture. And but anyway, salt is quite alkaline, or this ice melt is quite alkaline. And by being a 3 on the pH scale, alkaline is closer to 11 or 12 or 13. By being a 3 on the pH scale, the idea is by spraying this urine neutralizer onto salt, you are going to neutralize the salt, and then you work it up, and then the question is, well, what do you do next? What you do next kind of depends. I mean, you can blot it up with a towel. I think I did that. But then you want to rinse it. And ideally, you want to rinse it or extract it until the foam is completely gone. In this case, I felt like I was pretty thorough with it, and then when it all dried, it dried back a little white. I tried treating it with a couple things. It still kind of came back a little chalky, so I extracted it one more time, and that's for much later in the video. I extracted it one more time, it came out perfect. And I'm just kind of like picking and choosing here, right? Because encapsulation, you do not need to extract, but I know this is a very heavily trafficked area, kind of in the back 2 seats, or the middle 2 seats or whatever, in the kind of center console. So I'm like, you know what? I want to over-deliver here. I know this is a pretty soiled area. By rinsing it, right, you introduce hot water into the carpet very forcefully, and then you're sucking it out with the vacuum at the same time. That's what hot water extraction is. So that's what you're seeing. Like, I'm pushing the rinse solution into the carpet fibers, and then that's flushing the carpet of all the crap in there, which you're sucking up. So whatever you leave behind is hopefully like a nice clean solution, right? People say no res, or no residue left behind. That's impossible. It's a lie. You leave some residue behind. But I've got some really nice detergent in my extractor that shoots through, so like it neutralizes anything that may have been alkaline still, and it leaves the carpet soft at the right pH, so it's not going to re-soil. You want to start with an alkaline pre-spray usually, and then rinse it with something acidic to kind of balance out the pH. But that's not a concern when you're using encapsulation. Okay, here we are with the floor mats, and this I just love. I used to hate floor mats. I really did. But watch this. I just love foaming things up. In my bottle, I've got 3 ounces of F-Bomb, which is an all-purpose cleaner from American Detailer Garage, and 2 ounces of Wipeout. And, I played around with ONR and stuff like that. Wipeout leaves plastics just a little bit darker. Noxie from Red's Details in Atlanta told me about this mix. And 3 ounces of F-Bomb, 2 ounces of Wipeout in a 32-ounce bottle, with the rest being water. And the F-Bomb cleans really well and foams up and suds if you want it. And then the Wipeout leaves those, mats just a little bit darker. So here I am, not really good access to a hose. The hose is kind of in the garage, and it's leaking, so I don't want to use it. So I'm able to fill up my bucket with water, but I don't have a hose. So this is where the Brush Pro comes in. I just wanted to get things really wet. Just wanted to give plenty of lubrication. The amazing thing about the Brush Pro is it's made for the carpet cleaning industry. It's a heavy hitter. So you can use it on tile and grout, hardwood floors. So it's actually okay to get it that wet because it's used to being in situations like that, like on hardwood, laminate, tile flooring. And what this does as the brushes just move and move and move and move, it basically runs on its own. I'm moving it in kind of like circular patterns because it helps it at the angle the brush can kind of hit the dirt and the nooks and crannies of the floor mat. But I know the homeowner and the nanny there were like, who is this guy? But the Brush Pro looks professional. I like it. It definitely is something your average consumer's not going to have. And this is not for the everyman, but if you ever won the lottery or something and you wanted to just buy a bunch of fun toys like $1,700 pressure washers or $2,000 Brush Pros, you could do it, and it would definitely help you. So I'm just going to rinse off the floor mat here with my bucket of water, and it's a hot day outside. So I want to, and if I had a compressor, I would have used it just to blow it out, but I'm using steam here. I just want to see what's left over on the floor mat, make sure I got every little nook and cranny. I think there was like a little rock stuck in that little Chevy logo earlier, so that's what I was going after. And there's certain like nicks and scratches on there that I realized were more permanent. But okay, so I've done that. I've kind of rinsed it off, and finally I'm going to do one more 3 ounces F-Bomb, 2 ounces Wipeout. That's going to be my like final touch spray. And the reason I'm going so crazy with these floor mats is it's sunny out, and I really don't want them to like dry blotchy. I just don't want to risk anything drying on there. So I'm doing a final wipe down with the 3 ounces of F-Bomb, 2 ounces of Wipeout in that 32-ounce bottle, with the rest being water. And I'm just using it as my final like detail spray for these floor mats. As I've said in previous videos, clean floor mats don't always look amazing. Sometimes they appear quite faded, and I'll just tell my customers, like, it's clean, trust me. You know, it may look a little faded, but it's clean. Like, these floor mats are doing their job, they're protecting your carpets, and this is just what happens. So some people have mentioned a couple things on my channel in the comments, and I want to test them out. But right now, for the way this works, F-Bomb and Wipeout leaves them pretty darn black, and the Brush Pro just cleans them out so well. So I didn't dress these floor mats. I really don't believe in dressing floor mats because they seem slippery and unsafe, and I've had customers give me that feedback. But this to me is very acceptable, using the Wipeout in there at a pretty heavy dilution. So floor mats are done. Sometimes I wait till the end to do floor mats, but there were so many floor mats, like the front 2 seats, the middle, the back. I wanted to make sure I did a good job on those. So the steamer, man, I mean, it can do amazing things for you. You just got to be really safe with it. So my primary cleaning agent today is the 3 ounces of F-Bomb, 2 ounces of Wipeout. I just need the punch, you know, and I need to leave behind a little bit of a darker polymer look on these plastics, because I may not have time to dress everything at the end. Here's my technique with a steamer. Using the VX5000 here. Constantly moving the head of the steamer with the realization that it comes out so hot that if you make a mistake, you could permanently damage something. So you can kind of see my face. I mean, I'm focused. Like, I'm in the zone. This is like a meditative state for me, but it's real, you know? Like, you realize that inherent in every detail is danger, and you could mess something up. I mean, these are very expensive vehicles, and so it's embedded in every job we do. We don't talk about it in those terms sometimes, but, you know, we're hired to do a job well, but also to do it safely. And whenever humans are involved, mistakes can happen. So I just want to let you know, with a steamer, being extra careful is good. If you had an air compressor, I would use air as a default. Okay, so I've kind of handled the driver's side well. Now I've got my mixture in there, and I love my Detail Factory brushes. Man, these are so amazing. They're great on just about anything. Leather, nooks and crannies. You know, I like to let the chemical do the work, and then the detail brushes there just give you enough agitation to give the chemical a chance. If that's not working, you can go for a stiffer brush, or in a lot of cases, I'll just try steam. Like, if my all-purpose cleaner mix or whatever I'm using and this brush doesn't work, and I can't kind of, like, I don't know, pry it off with a fingernail or something, I'll just try steam. But the next step up would be like a really safe leather brush, or, you know, some kind of boar's hair brush. But this is such a heavy hitter all-star. I love this steam. Like, I can get almost anything out of cup holders with steam, and this is a really instructive process. I mean, I'm kind of moving it around. The only time I sometimes let the steamer just like chill is inside a cup holder, because to me, the priority is removing the stuff that is unsanitary and nasty with steam. And if you were to leave some kind of mark on those plastics on the inside, it's not going to be super visible, and those are pretty durable plastics, as opposed to like letting that steamer sit on leather, where you could really cause some permanent damage that would be visible and ugly. And but inside these plastic areas, I'm still trying to see. I'm prying free coins as we speak. I don't even know what was attaching those coins to that console area, but it was grimy and it was pretty nasty. So steam, you guys, is amazing. This is probably where steam shines the most, although it does so many things well, is center console cup holders. Like, Sally customer has no idea how to clean her car, and you come in with this thing and you just plow through all the candy and the gum and the wrappers and the coins that are stuck there, what have you, and it comes out clean and nice. And that's why they hire a pro, because you'd spend 29 minutes watching a YouTube video about how to detail an interior. I appreciate you guys being on this journey with me. Yes, I'm probably using a really nice towel on the interior, which I sometimes like to do, but, you know, workhorse towels are fine for interiors. I'm just like of the philosophy, well, if I'm really going to baby the paint on the outside with a nice towel, wouldn't I kind of want to baby the inside too? But I know the inside is kind of built to last. This is a fun thing to watch. This area probably looks pretty clean, but like I said, I just love the way this F-Bomb foams up with the Wipeout and this mixture, and then, I just give it a little bit of agitation. I'm super gentle, and then by just letting it dwell on there in the meantime, you're kind of giving the Wipeout a really good chance to leave it looking darker. So I feel like the dwell time gives the F-bomb chance to, break away all the crap from your surface that you can wipe away. And then the Wipeout, by dwelling, just gives it a darker appearance. I mean, this is like a true winner combination. And it's fun to watch foam and suds up. And normally I wouldn't follow up that process with steam, but this center console with all the little plastic grooves, you can't see it, but it was pretty trashed. Just remember what those floors and floor mats look like. This is a horizontal surface in the same vehicle, right? So like this horizontal surface in the same vehicle in the driver's side area, like, gets a lot of traffic. So for whatever that's worth, this was pretty nasty. So I needed to get up in there with that steamer. And I'm just moving that steamer head muy rápido. All right, just touching everything up here. You can see how nice this vehicle looks. I mean, like I said, the foundation was fantastic. It was fantastic. We just needed to get all of that crud off that top layer. People have no idea, do they, how much work goes into a detail. That's why I kind of like making these videos. Although now that I'm watching it, I'm wondering why I keep doing the same thing over and over again. All right, the philosophy on, these pedals is probably varied. I look at it like, yeah, they're just going to step on them again. Why does it matter? But I'll clean them. I mean, I clean them pretty thoroughly in this video. Sometimes I'm like, man, it's a floor pedal, but we're hired to clean everything, and I get it. I just sometimes like to poke fun at my own detailing industry, I guess. Steamer works really well here just to get inside all the little grooves. Again, you don't want to dress pedals for obvious reasons. You don't want them to be slippery at all. So just a nice clean matte finish. Get all the dirt and crud out of the grooves. That's the goal here. I feel like it's I feel like it's important to do pedals, and I try to do them. Sometimes I spend so much time on carpets that it's easy to forget about pedals. But here we are doing the videos. Makes me extra detail oriented. Okay, here we are. As you can imagine, a horizontal surface in the very same vehicle just happened to be a perforated leather seat. I use these little dental tools, and you want to use them carefully for sure. I use these little plastic gum tools. Darren from Auto Fetish taught me about this way back in the day. But those plastic tools, they would just bend and break, and I was going through a lot of them, and I found that you got to be careful. It's like the steamer, but those little metal tools work great to get in the little perforated holes. All right, here's my window method magic eraser O&R 256-1. Want to cut through all that grime. I definitely would say working in direct sunlight's not ideal because everything flashes and dries on you real quick, and you never want panels to be hot, and here you are. But it's probably better than a snowstorm, and I'm not wanting to complain too much. So it was a long winter. Not going to complain about the warm weather. Then follow up with an O&R dampened microfiber towel, dedicated window towel. I like to keep all my window towels together, wash them together, only use them for windows. We're getting toward the end of their usage. I feel like I've been using and abusing them. They end up going on, dashes, and I start cleaning the outside of windows. This is the magic eraser. But yeah, you can see that interior window is now an exterior window towel. I won't bring it back on the interior, but there's just so much gunk that they've been exposed to that my towels are starting to streak on me just a little bit. I'm kind of bummed about it, so I just ordered some new window towels, and I'm going to be extra careful about washing them carefully together and storing them when they're done together, and then my new towels I'm not going to use on exteriors, and I'm not going to wipe down dashes with them. Because that's exactly why you have dedicated towels, right? It's not to cross-contaminate.
Well, you guys, another one that definitely kicked my butt. But the floor mats are looking good. I got nothing to hide. Let's get as close of an angle as you want. You know, it's like, yeah, it may not be totally perfect. A little bit of dust is probably already settled, but to the windows. Let's just enjoy this a little bit. Not that it's perfect, but sorry guys. Is that beautiful or what? Gorgeous.
Head east on Station Loop Road toward
Very
Bridge
positive.
Parkway.
Oh, must be running late to my next thing. Big surprise. This one was fun, guys. Dialed it in. She's looking good.